They told the story one way, clean, simple, closed. But history has a way of hiding things. Because sometimes, the truth isn't erased. It's rewritten. This is not just a crime story. This is a story buried inside history itself. A case that was never meant to be solved. And a truth that stayed hidden for decades. In 1921, in a growing American town filled with ambition and tension, an incident was reported. A young man, a young woman, an accusation. The headlines came fast. Too fast. Within hours, the narrative was already decided. He was guilty. No investigation. No questions. Just assumption. But what followed wasn't justice. It was chaos. Crowds gathered. Anger spread. And within a single night, an entire community was destroyed. Homes burned. Businesses erased. Lives lost. The official story blamed outrage. Spontaneous violence. Uncontrolled emotion. But that explanation never quite made sense. Because destruction on that scale doesn't just happen. Not by accident. Years later, pieces of the story began to shift. Witnesses who were once silent started to speak, and what they revealed changed everything. The young man, he wasn't fleeing. He wasn't hiding. He had simply been in the wrong place at the exact wrong moment. The young woman, her statement was never officially recorded, and some reports suggested she never accused him at all. So why did the story spread so quickly? Why was guilt assumed before facts were confirmed? Because behind the scenes, something else was happening, something far more deliberate. At the time, the community that was destroyed wasn't just surviving, it was thriving, successful, independent, powerful in ways that made others uncomfortable. It had its own businesses, its own economy, its own future, and for some people, that was a problem, because destruction isn't always driven by anger. Sometimes, it's driven by opportunity. Documents uncovered decades later revealed something chilling. Certain officials knew violence was coming and did nothing to stop it. Some even helped it happen. The accusation, it wasn't just an incident. It was a trigger, a distraction, a spark used to justify something that had already been planned. When it was over, the damage was beyond repair. Families disappeared, generations lost, and the truth? Silenced. Reports were altered. Records went missing. Witnesses were ignored. For years, the story remained exactly how it was first told. Simple, convenient, false. And those responsible, they walked free. No trials, no consequences, just history, rewritten. But truth has a way of surviving. Even when buried, decades later, investigations reopened. Historians dug deeper, and slowly, the real story came back into the light. Not just a crime, but a cover-up. Not just violence, but a calculated act. What was once called a riot was something far more deliberate and far more disturbing, because in the end, the most dangerous crimes aren't the ones people see. They're the ones hidden behind official stories, signed off, stamped, and accepted as truth, until someone starts asking questions. If you want more stories like this, stories they tried to bury, make sure you subscribe, because the next story might be even darker. Fire.